It's opening day of the high school football season, and this is the Drew Rice Coaches Show brought to you by Neighborhood Ford. I'm Marky Billson. It is an exciting preseason for Unicoi County because the Johnson City Press this week picked the Unicoi County Blue Devils to win their first conference championship 1-3A in approximately 30 years. Now, the only two people, Drew Rice, that I know who ever liked being called the favorite were Davey Johnson, the manager of the Mets, when it was thrust upon him, and the Mets for the 1986 prediction to win their division, and Bomari Jones. So how are you taking the pressure of being picked to win Region 1-3A?
Well, that's something we've talked about is, of having high expectations for ourselves. And, time will tell whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But, we feel like we've got a lot coming back, and the teams that, Johnson County and West Greene, the only two that finished higher than us last year in our league, lost quite a bit. So, we kind of thought that might be the case. But, like we told these guys, that doesn't mean anything, So we're just going to continue to work, and however the region shakes out, it shakes out. But, right now we try to take it one game at a time, and right now that's a big test tonight with South Greene coming in.
Well, one of the things that I'm noticing, and we're recording this right outside the Unicoi County Blue Devils locker room. Now, I can remember when this locker room was stinky. I can remember when it was old-fashioned. You've got wooden lockers inside there. You've got little signs in the lockers commemorating the great players of the past, and you've got a pretty expansive weight room in there as well. And so I want to ask you, Drew Rice, when did this all come about? How long have you had a locker room like this to compete with the big boys of 1-3A?
Yeah, well, when I took over, took over halfway through the year in 2016, and then that off season, we finished at Alcoa on Friday night, and that Monday the coaching staff and myself and some of the gridiron folks, we got together and we went to work. So my thought was we're going to ask these kids to be here a whole lot, and in January, it's kind of hard to get, motivated in January. So we said we needed to have the absolute nicest facility we could have. So we tried to, we scraped money and, and did this and did that and tried to find ways to get, to maximize what we can do here, and we're blessed with a very large field house. So, we've got some room, and we just tried to maximize that and give these guys something to be proud of. And they've done a great job taking care of it. This is, like I said, we've had 2 off seasons now in this weight room, and I think it looks like it did when we finished it. So we're very pleased with that.
You mentioned returning talent. Let's talk about Brett Strother. I know that you feel that he could be playing at an FCS level next year. He's been to some camps. What does he give the Blue Devils this season?
Well, he's just a threat to score every time he touches it, and we're looking at different ways to use him. Whether it be receiver or running back, or we've still got some stuff that he's going to maybe take some snaps at quarterback just to keep the defense honest, and he's going to start at linebacker for us, but he can step back and play safety. So he's just very versatile, and I think that's helped his recruiting process. His highlight tape's very good, and he seems to have got a lot of attention. And their first question is, can he play defense? And my question's absolutely. Or my answer to that's absolutely. So he's very versatile, and he's a threat, and I think people are very aware of him. So we kind of anticipate a lot of teams trying to take him away. That's a chore to do, but at the same time, we feel like that may give some of our other guys some opportunities where, he's getting so much attention or, double covered or whatever the case may be, that it opens up, opportunities for some of our other guys.
We're now in the second year of the Brock Thompson era at quarterback. Of course, he came in mid-season last year, gave the Blue Devils a jump start. Tell me, how has he improved from last season, if at all?
Yeah, no, there's no, experience is just so valuable, especially at quarterback. But the biggest thing with him is he's just grown, go from being 14 years old to, being 15 and, pushing 16. Then I noticed him yesterday, he's almost, looking me eye to eye. So he's really kind of shot up, and he's starting to fill out. That was one of our concerns last year. It was never his, ability or his arm. It was just like, can he hold up in a varsity game? game, because he was a skinny little freshman, So he's really filled out, and I'll tell you what, we've yet to throw something at him, offensively, scheme-wise, that we're trying to do that that he can't mentally do, So he's very, very capable. He's very, very intelligent. And we're just so excited, for what the next 3 years are going to look like with him.
Now, the sophomore quarterback Thompson is, as you said, very tall, and you're not Eddie LeBaron or Doug Flutie here. So when you say he looks you eye to eye, how tall are you?
I'm 6'4", so I'd say Brock is probably now, he's probably hit 6'2", and like I said, he doesn't look like he's done growing. So we'll see, but he's. Like I said, we're very, very excited about him.
A month in practice, what have been your big surprises of the practice season?
Yeah, we've had a couple guys kind of, that we knew were going to be good football players, but, maybe not quite yet. The first one that really sticks out is L.J. Mitchell, who he kind of came on at the end last year and gave Austin East some trouble. We had a couple guys get banged up a little bit, and he got some time there in that playoff game that, he didn't really anticipate getting, and he kind of made the most of it. So he kind of got on our radar then, and, he plays basketball and baseball, so, we didn't get him till the summer. But in the volunteer scrimmage and in the Hampton scrimmage both, he's had a great scrimmage. So he's worked his way into a starting spot, playing some defensive end for us. But him and probably Austin Odell, who started some games last year for us, but he's just kind of really come on. Which last year was Austin's first year playing in high school. He had played in middle school, but he didn't play his freshman and sophomore year. So just another year of experience for those guys, I think, is very valuable, and starting to show up, and hopefully that'll continue to be the case.
Coach speak, the other year of experience and all that, but there is something to it. All right, who's hurt going into this game?
We're pretty healthy. We've made that a focus the last 2 weeks is to stay healthy. We've got a couple guys, battling some minor things. I guess as far as guys that played a lot last year that, we anticipate a big year out of. Shane Armstrong still battling a knee injury. He's cleared to play, but it's kind of a mobility thing. So it's just going to be, we get out here and get him warmed up and see how well he can go. So we'll see. But other than that, I mean, like I said, we've got a handful of guys who have got some stuff, but very minor. And as far as like guys, in the starting 11 on each side, Shane's probably the only one. So we've been fortunate to be pretty healthy.
South Greene is a traditional opening day rival of Unicoi County for the past few years. Going into this game, what do you fear about the Rebels?
Number 81, Tristan Biddy. He's a senior receiver for him. He got loose on us a little bit last year. I think he had like 4 catches for 70 yards or something like that. But, he's a weapon, and you hear people talk about them, and he's always the first name that comes up, And their quarterback, number 10, Levi Myers, I think he's just going to be a junior. He's been starting for the last 2 years, so he's a good player. Those two, have been our focus. So, we tried to game plan to take those guys away. It's going to be a chore, but we definitely got to keep him hemmed up and keep eyes on him at all time. But we'll see. They're always a tough draw, and they play a good brand of football. They've got a new coach, so we're kind of guessing a little bit as far as what we think they're going to do, but we'll see. I think they're a good football team, though, definitely. Well,
I know it was about 11 years ago I saw at Gentry Stadium you make a one-handed catch against Sullivan South that I was quite impressed with. I remember it 11 years later, Drew Rice. So now the question is, after Johnson County, if you're going to also be having one hand aloft this time with the index finger raised. It's Drew Rice, head coach of the Unicoi County Blue Devils, picked by the Johnson City Press this year to win their region for the first time in approximately 30 years. This has been brought to you by Neighborhood Ford. I'm Marky Billson, back with more on 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities. What do you think about that?
It's awesome. Neighborhood Ford ponying up a little bit?
I think so. They hadn't before, so that was...
Somebody was telling me they had new ownership.
Even
since they've opened